And just when it seemed like the drama couldn't get any wilder, one of Diddy's own bodyguards revealed leaked audio that purportedly showed Diddy and me getting really intimate without holding back. I won't even go into all the specifics, but here's what the bodyguard said about how he obtained the recording and what actually happened behind the scenes. As for Osiris, well, I know you all remember when Diddy took him on a little vacation. He made this post and delete of him and Diddy getting a couple's massage by the sea. And there's no way you can tell me that you don't find that sus. He also wrote, listening to that Diddy and B2K eating that good fruit in the...
One thing I learned from Drake, and here's the crazy thing, one thing I learned from Drake, but one thing he hasn't followed his own words. Mm-hmm. Drake said, I want to be one of the people that gracefully bow out and not get kicked out.
Yeah.
I have ever since said, you really thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all when I drop. Don't worry about it. I'll just drop something.
Yeah.
Let me know if you heard it.
Yeah.
Drake is like, no, listen. Okay, I got another one. Oh, check this out. Check this out. Y'all didn't like that one? Okay, real quick. Just one more. Let me try one more. And then he's the person that he said, he didn't want to be. And I learned that from him. Like when he said that, I want to gracefully bow out and not get kicked out. I was like, you know what? Sorry, I'm out this bitch.
This is live shows now.
I'm out this mother. I'm not trying to impress y'all niggas. Y'all niggas don't give a fuck about live or die.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would I keep trying to impress y'all niggas? I'm out. I'm done. I did everything that I was trying to do. I changed the game. I made a sound. What else? What else?
You literally can't. It's only even if you make a hit today, it's still,
it won't even. That's just normal.
Yes.
It's just normal. It's like, yeah, that's okay.
Well, shit.
Cool song.
According to Tay's context, Drake had previously stated that he was preparing a graceful departure from music. This was reported on February 28, 2023, which, if I'm not mistaken, is around the time that he was going to embark on the It's All a Blur tour. It reads, I'm ready now. Drake plans graceful exit. Drake wants to leave the music industry gracefully to make room for the next generation of rappers. The God's Plan hitmaker has stated that he has no plans to retire anytime soon, but when the time comes, he wants to mentor up-and-coming artists. On a larger scale, though, I believe he was talking to Lil Yachty back when he had the Moody's Conversations episode on YouTube when he said, I feel like a lot of people that I've watched as the years have gone on, it's really addictive competitive. Space. Oftentimes you're addicted to the competition itself. I'm not ready now, but to gracefully continue making projects that are incredibly interesting and hopefully cherished by people, and then to find the right time to say, I can't wait to see what the next generation does. Reassuring fans that he has no plans to hang up his microphone anytime soon, he said. I'm still working around to work people or do a show here or there, but I'm not going to force myself to compete. It's interesting that he said this around 2023, and the following year, he gets into a beef with Kendrick Lamar. It's amazing how the story changed. And he was already considering a graceful exit, but he gets into a beef immediately after saying that in a public statement. I would love to see just what the next generation does whenever that time is. So I guess that's the one thing that I want for myself really badly, but I'm gonna have to say that's kind of cap, because if you did, you would have already stopped or been trying to work on your graceful exit instead of getting involved in one of these beefs, because remember, in the beef, he's the one that antagonized Kendrick Lamar. So when he's in this interview saying that he's planning a graceful exit, he doesn't want to continue to be competitive. You were the one that was provoking Kendrick Lamar in the first place. So it's the exact opposite effect of what you're saying in this interview. And this is where T-Pain gets this context from. This is what he's talking about. Drake had talked about this a while back with Yachty, and what Tay is basically saying, he's saying that there was never no graceful exit. He just kept going even after the beef, and without even bringing up the beef. I think we all know that this is something that he just did. He just kept going, and he just kept making it worse. At any point in time, he could have made the graceful exit, right, that we're talking about. If he really cared about the artists from the next generation, he would have just been working with them, helping them, instead of trying to do these tours that he's canceling or try to drop album after album. He would have been working on a graceful exit instead of trying to drop an album after the other. But realistically, the real problem with Drake taking a graceful exit Now is that he got involved in a lawsuit. He went and told in a courtroom about losing in a rap battle, and that goes against everything that hip-hop bro. You don't get into a rap battle and go to the court and sue right after just because you lost. A lot of people said that after Drake lost, if he just cooled down, if he just got away for a while, went away for a while, came back, it would have probably been different. He would have been roast because he kept enabling these things by continuing. To make it worse for himself, you go and you sue right after a rap battle. You continue to lie and say things that aren't true. You keep trying to spin the narrative, and now you're challenging the First Amendment in a lawsuit against the label. The label that you work for, Drake, makes it worse for himself. He continues to do things that enable people to continue talking about this loss because he never stops. He keeps going, and that's specifically because of the lawsuit and the things that he does, especially responding to T-Pain. This is just another example of how Drake can't just take a loss. He has to rebuttal. He has to respond. He has to do something to let people know that he's not bothered, when in fact he is bothered. He's trying to act like nothing is fazing him, but simply here in the comments of an Instagram post he says, "This guy always had resented me. You can hear it every time that he speaks on my name." This comes after he discusses the situation where he gracefully bows out and criticizes Drake, his music, and the way he's handling things now. But who wouldn't say anything, bro? I mean, everyone is talking about how you went and sued right after a lawsuit, and now Drake is trying to act like T-Pain always hated Scorpion. However, this is out of context because in this interview, he talks to Joe Biden and claims that he couldn't listen to the Scorpion album because it was too romantic to listen to with another man. To be honest, this is just a critical opinion, even though they are only discussing music and not him personally. However, these are the stories they are stating, and they claim that T-Pain has always resented Drake. If T-Pain does not like Drake, then perhaps he has his own reasons, such as trying to steal a few songs from him. According to this, T-Pain discusses how he was inspired by Drake and his artist Gordo, better known as Carnage, but academics accuse him of stealing.
Yeah,
Yo, Pain,
so,
yo, Pain.
Look.
When I send it to him, he gonna do it, bro.
That's fantastic. I'm talking about Gordo, a nigga that was on the plane with him. Showed him the song. I mean, they got inspiration from the song and did another song, which is cool. I'm totally fine with that. But
Oh, they stole your shit. Oh, hell no.
Huh?
They stole your shit.
they didn't steal nothing.
There you go. There you know how to do it, don't you? You know how to do it, don't you?
Did,
They didn't steal
you just said
nothing,
you
man.
heard some shit that sounded like your shit, but it wasn't your shit.
Yeah, I mean,
That's called theft.
That happened every day in the game.
You only as good as the shit. You only good as you only as good as shit you get inspiration from.
That's a fact. Nah, but I ain't gonna lie.
And that's everybody. Hey, look. If it's anything I've learned in this industry, it ain't nothing new under the sun.
Yo,
Everybody's doing something that somebody done did before. It ain't never gonna be different.
So you can see here academics, Drake's biggest admirer, was attempting to start a debate by stating, "Well, hold on, you're saying that's inspiration, but that sounds like death. Hey, you know there's nothing new. You know everybody's done something once before it's been done again. You know it happens." T-Pain says as he bows out of the scenario, which makes it amusing. However, academics are calling it what it is, and even at this point, T-Pain is not displaying any resentment. So when Drake claims that T-Pain has resentment, for him every time he speaks, even when he was speaking to academics, he chooses to bow out and not sound resentful at all. I believe that the entire bow out conversation, where he shamefully leaves the situation instead of being kicked out, is related to Drake suing UMG. It all has to do with him in that circumstance, and after that, he is unquestionably going outside. If you're suing after a rap battle, if you're suing after this, it goes against everything hip-hop culture and the First Amendment. You should have gracefully bowed out instead of being kicked out. You talked about bowing out 2 years ago, and you're still doing this. Obviously, the battle kind of held you up, but even in your previous statements, you stated that you weren't going to compete. So what do? You provoke. Freedom of speech, everything that hip-hop stands for, and that's why he references it the way that he does. Kendrick Lamar is bowing out, being laid back, and being neutral. You never did any of those things, and when someone calls you out on it, you get offended and you say that they're resenting you. However, even when they're talking to your biggest fan and he's using you as a prop to treat you disrespectfully, and he denies it, that doesn't sound like resentment at all. I believe T-Pain is only bringing up this topic because he is. 3 weeks ago, he posted on Instagram saying, "I give you all everything for 20 years, and I'm grateful to each of you for making this such a great ride right now. I just need some time to think about what's next and what's best for me." This was posted 3 weeks ago, making everybody think that he was going to retire. It was to be revealed that Tay was going to be on a tour, and he was going to start what seems to be his probably last tour if he's sending this message right before. It says that Tay announced tour after fueling retirement rumors. So this might be his last tour before he gracefully exits out of doing any more shows, who knows. But maybe this is why he's talking about Drake's graceful exit, because he's working on doing one of his tours, or maybe potentially one of his last tours. But without a doubt, I respect T-Pain. I know that he's probably been critical of Drake, but he's never talked with any type of resentment for him. I think everything has been pretty light, and he's only talking about what Drake had said publicly. And to be honest, he should have gracefully bowed out back in 2023 and not been in competition like he said he was before he started to provoke Kendrick Lamar and before he tried to sue. Now he can't gracefully bow out, and now he is getting kicked out because people don't recognize him as being part of the culture, which is why Kendrick Lamar said that he's not like us. That was the whole point of the reference of that, and he proved it right after when he decided to take the actions that he took with the lawsuit and everything else that falls behind that, not even talking about what's said in the lyrics, just the actions that he's took after the fact. I think T-Pain is a legend. I love all of T-Pain's music. Big shout out to T-Pain. I feel like he was just giving his opinion here. He was just being critical. I mean, Drake might add him to the lawsuit at this point, bro, but who knows, man. Y'all tell me how you feel about this and get back to me, man. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video, man. Peace. Keep it alleged, everybody.